Alright guys, here we're going to talk about Pushing Daisies Season 1, Episode 5.
Watched this a while ago, I'm just checking my notes.
We learn a lot about, what is her name, Olive?
Yeah.
Yeah, Olive was a jockey.
Olive Snook. I was a professional jockey. Yeah. That's crazy. It's so absurd. It's wonderful. But she's a tiny lady, and it's one of those things.
It makes sense.
They can have anybody have any history they want, because the world is made of candy.
And why wouldn't you? Yeah.
And why wouldn't you? Yeah.
They do not explain one thing that really bothered me throughout the episode.
Hit me up.
So this episode revolves around a like phantom horse like killer that breathes fire somehow, and they never like I wanted like some Scooby-Doo thing where it's like methane.
And here's the propane tank.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. No, the show's completely unconcerned with that. The door is huge before the horse comes in.
Yeah.
The door's incredibly large, and like Olive is small, but Chuck is not really that small. And I was like, why is the door so huge? Okay, the horse is probably gonna have to come in there.
Yeah.
It's super. It's like
they showed
super
that before
funny.
Though. Did we ever have a comparison? Did they swap to a larger set? Like,
I think it's a different set with a huge door for the horse. It's super good.
It's a little strange too, because like a horse could fit through a normal door, just the person would have to like duck down as they went through it.
Well, that old lady's body double can't do that.
Which is very strange.
I have no. It's such a
face-covered person. You could put anybody in that role.
It's such a strange thing. I really don't know why that was like that. I would love to know.
A lot of this episode doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
Like, why was he?
Pick a thing. Horse legs.
Well, that honestly. So, and are we to believe he has horse feet also?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the least of it. To be fair, to be fairly honest,
he's wearing shoes.
I assume that it's the middle of the legs.
Sure. And like, why that couldn't be, metal or anything else?
Because we had horse legs handy.
But why would they? They wouldn't.
The horse just died.
No, but they're at the hospital. They wouldn't have brought the horse.
Listen,
also,
they put out a call for legs, and they said, "Hey, we got a 4-pack. There's a sale."
I guess.
Here you go.
But how does think about that logically?
I can't think about installing horse legs.
Like, why wouldn't they cut that bone to size? Well, you need the full
you need
bone.
The ends. Yeah, you need the ends. That's the whole point.
He has the ends. The middle's where it's broken.
You want to put in a whole new bone and just reattach the ends.
I don't think that's anything you would ever do.
I don't think any of that's anything. But it's the kind of insanity like on a real show that's about the real world that would bother me a lot. This show's about a fake world where you can install horse legs. Well, she killed his career. Sure, he's fine, but he's too tall to be a jockey now. I'm getting revenge on everyone.
No, he's a basketball player in Europe.
No, he's a basketball player. And his whole thing about being in the basement, it was in only 2 years I was able to walk up the steps by myself. And in 3 years, my mother let me. All those things, and you're like, oh, God. Like,
But, like, it's the thing that gets me is if he didn't die... Everyone in the world should know he didn't die, because...
They hit him.
At what stage, though? She didn't take him from the operating room. Like,
probably.
The doctors would have to either sign a death warrant or not, and he has like, those posthumous, like, awards and whatever, like...
They faked his death because they were so ashamed of his giant legs. This medical miracle of this medical miracle of installing horse legs. What?
It's just such a weird flaw for a show that's like, yes, it's a jokey show to begin with, but like, why go that direction?
I feel like they were throwing darts at a board. They were just making up the dumbest thing that they could. And
they succeeded.
We gave him horse legs because they find the horse's corpse in like his coffin, and there's no legs, right? Or there's missing legs because he has the legs in his body.
Yeah. It's
crazy.
Why was the grave even defiled, though?
I have no idea.
Why were there crackers there?
There were crackers everywhere. Yes.
Like they didn't go like recently.
Because she had to get the legs. No, that's not it.
That's what doesn't make any sense.
No, it like does not really make sense. That's fairly obvious. It sounds like it's bothering you more than it's bothering me because I think a lot of things don't make sense, and I'm kind of okay with it. But
it was overall like a fun episode.
Worse,
I didn't have a big problem with it, but it's like why have raging plot holes if you didn't need them? You could just write not to have them.
We could just do something different.
Yeah.
I feel like they said, and then he couldn't be a jockey anymore. Why? Something funny? Yeah, like he's too big. Okay, that's funny. All right, because they had to like fix his bones and they had to use big metal things. Okay, yeah. You know what's even funnier?
Or he gained
horse
weight
legs.
because he couldn't run it. Like you could have wrote it in and then be like, oh, he's huge now. Like it would have been a surprise.
He's a big fat guy.
Oh, he's far too big now to be a jockey. he's gained weight. And then when you see him, what the hell?
What?
You're 2 feet taller.
Yeah. No, I could have seen him being in like seclusion or whatever. He's this like what is the word for that? Estranged or whatever it is, right? He's
hermit?
off somewhere. There's another word.
Recluse?
Something long. A recluse, sure. Like secluded but reclusive. Yeah, so like it could have been like a thing, right? Even have the Halloween connection by that. Oh, he's like a crazy old person. Now he's killing people, but it's really his mother, Norman Bates, and it's a whole thing
or it's all an obvious thing. Like ignore the whole ghost angle, and if he has horse legs, oh, these people are all stomped to death. He must have done it with his horse legs.
He just has horse legs installed. Yeah. Or even have that be the misdirect, where like the famous stories that, and they say they had to give him his horse's legs, and then they're being stomped, and then Emerson's like, he doesn't have horse legs, and then it's like, he does have horse legs. Oh my God, this whole thing. Emerson, really quick. There's a part in here that's one of my favorite things I think ever. When he's like, let me call the money and see, and like he's like, let me talk, and he does an entire improv like conversation where he's like, yeah, that's right. Anyway, the reason I called, and he starts talking, he's just doing a long conversation with the money, and then he goes,
the money don't care.
And he's like, turns out the money doesn't care, and that's the whole thing. Can I still spend it? Yes.
When Olive passes out and he just like walks away and then goes, oh, and then runs back to check on her.
Yes. No, it's
Where's
really.
Olive? Oh.
No, it's really good. I like this continued theme of like this small group's past and weird things leading to cases and all that stuff, or Ned's own previous actions or whatever. There's a nice little feel there.
This was the first episode where he realizes about the pie and the food turns to like shit in his mouth.
That was the thing that we called that, right?
I thought was really cool the first time I saw it, and it's been in my head, and now here it is again.
Yeah. So I guess we should round that out, right? Ned's like, I can't go with you. I have something I have to do.
Yes.
And so like we actually have this nice intro about how he like ran away from the boys' academy and all that stuff.
Well,
and
like, his dad left him like a fuck for
has
a new family.
Has a new family. I always wonder if there's something more to that. I forget if the show ever revisits it. So we are to believe that it's just like legit. He has a new family, right?
I think so.
How long has it been? He must have already had that family, right? Was it like 6 years? Like how long was it?
Well, you don't know if those are his kids or if he.
Oh, okay.
He could have married.
We can make things, yeah. We can make it work. But he has a whole new family. Holy crap, right? And like the like narrator's rhyming more now and doing this whole thing. It's this nice little.
It's a perfect fairy tale.
Storybooky like way of describing his like horrible life.
And what a horrible life.
And they show him laying where his bed used to be, and now he like has a tradition of like haunting his old house.
Very depressing.
Something. So like yes, very depressing, and I'm not going to dispute that, but I really like it in like a thing.
I like it too, but if his old house is still vacant, he has a relatively successful business, and he has a lot of lucrative, dead people money coming in. I don't know why he doesn't just buy his old house, just to be like, it's my house still.
It's weird, yeah. And but just him laying on the floor, just staring up at the ceiling, like, and all that stuff, right? But that's how he sees, like, oh yeah, and like the ants do live next door, because that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
How he kills Chuck's father accidentally, and they go over there, and that's where he eats the pie. I love that too.
That was the thing for me where I was like, oh wait a minute, so.
Oh
was
yeah,
his dad mowing the lawn at the aunt's house?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Or is their house just also like, is it like the aunt's house, then his house, then their house? Like, are their houses next door to each other?
Maybe the ants moved in to take care of Chuck because they were traveling mermaids.
Maybe.
And they resent her for ending their career. No, that was the eye. I don't know anymore.
I don't know.
A little weird, but they are next door.
I couldn't remember if the flashback actually showed that house or not, because that house is very distinct.
I believe it. Well, I don't know.
Could go either way.
Because there was no big fence.
Or I can't recall. Did he? Yeah, he did literally look across the street in this episode.
I thought he looked out the window because he heard is like he hears the one like rough ant being like, if you throw another egg, it'll be the last thing you ever do with that arm, and goes through a shotgun and all that stuff, whatever she says, making stuff up.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, well, maybe it's just because he's in the same town. He figured he'd stop in, but no, that's not it.
No, it's like it's a continuity nightmare between horse legs and the geography. It's all over. But yeah, I love him making the connection that way and being like, and all that stuff with the pie. So that like poetry of like he can't touch the things that he restores to life.
Genius, that he can never eat his own pie.
Right? Unless he makes it with fresh ingredients, but that's,
that?
who would do that when
you know
you
how
have
much
the power?
cheaper rotting fruit
When you
is?
have the power, yes. I wonder if they just get it literally out of the garbage, or if they have like a hookup.
I don't know. And isn't like the fruit the second it's plucked, isn't it dead?
I guess.
So like he could just touch all fruit, and then his pies are fresh forever all the time,
I guess.
or fresh until
Okay.
like the floury bits go,
So
or the crust and whatnot.
So something happens in this episode, which I think flies in the face of your immortality theory.
The girl and the dog
She-
walking.
What?
Oh, what do you got?
Oh, she like hurts her ankle.
Well, that doesn't make you not immortal.
Well, you could just hurt your brain and die.
Well, you could hurt your brain. I don't think you would die.
Ah, okay. So you could just hurt everything and break everything, but somehow not be dead?
Well,
Okay.
there's a big difference between immortal and invulnerable.
Yes.
And she is immortal, not invulnerable.
I think if you get separated enough, you're like functionally dead, though.
Well, functionally dead and dead, different
Yes.
things.
I still think she could die under the right circumstances.
I think she could be killed. I don't think she can die. Like, I don't think she can just be... She will not die of age.
Okay,
And I
sure.
don't- and I don't
We
think-
established that with the dog, yeah.
And I don't think she would die of most types of killings.
I wonder
Because
if she would come back.
I'm not even
again.
sure if she breathes.
Well, they haven't really established that.
No.
I would like for them to.
Yeah, I
But
don't
yes.
think they ever do. But yes. Because we've never seen her get cut either. I wonder if she gets stabbed or something, would she even bleed? Is her blood not clotted in her veins? Because she's a zombie.
This happens with a lot of things like this, where like once you get into the mechanics of how stuff works, and they call it out here as being magic, right? There's a nice little scene.
Yeah,
they
where
go,
he believes...
what do you mean? You don't
yeah.
believe in ghosts and like the afterlife and stuff like that? And he goes, no. And they're like, you can bring people back. He's like, listen, there's a big difference between a little magic that shoots out of my finger and and a ghost, please,
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
I don't know what the difference would be, but
There's
yes,
no difference.
there's
It's
a
wonderful.
difference. But yeah, maybe somebody has the power to make you're a dead person turn translucent and be alive again.
And be alive, right? It's like essentially the same thing.
Yeah. But this episode, it was charming enough. I didn't dislike it. There were no
Yeah, I'm
real
just-
slow points.
I'm
for
just
me.
combing for
We meet a
good
bunch
lines.
of jockeys, and a bunch of jockeys die. There's a mumbly guy, and then we find out that Chuck wore braces or whatever as a form
Oh
of,
yeah.
a form of contraceptive.
They said it was a form of contraceptive.
Yeah.
But your teeth are straight. Yeah. No, dumb stuff like that. So like Chuck's role has been to fill in and be like, oh, I speak fluent Japanese, and just to like know all these
Yeah.
things because of her like isolated upbringing versus Ned's torturous like I have to learn about my power and
Yeah.
figure out how to get on with it or whatever.
Different hobbies, you see.
You gotta have your hobbies. I'm trying to find. There was one line that I thought was really good, but I didn't. I guess I did not write it down. But when they go talk to the mother of the like fake dead jockey or whatever, I love how she's just like savage. She goes in.
yes.
She goes in on them. What was your name?
She's
Something ladylike. Oh, Chuck. Okay, good.
something
She's like,
unladylike.
well, she throws something.
Joe.
Yeah.
Charlie.
She throws out those like other male names and goes, "That's right. Yes."
She says
you-
about Olive.
You wouldn't need all that bait if you'd already caught something or
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
Ooh, and then I was like,
You wouldn't need all that bait if your belly was already full of fish.
yeah. Like, oh man, savage, just taking them down. Emerson's like,
And I was like, "You're right,"
Like,
and she like buttons up a little
yeah,
bit.
she gets all like ugh, about it. Yeah, no, I love it. And then she turned out to be the bad guy, so it all
Yeah,
fits.
it worked.
She's not just being savage out of nowhere.
Yeah, the moment I like that scene started because you see like the vent move, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember the ending of this episode."
Well, I remembered that it was the mom, but I totally forgot about the jockey being alive and having horse legs. And I think
The legs, I don't think I remembered. I think I blocked those out the second.
I was just gonna say, I think that my brain blocked it out to like protect me from
Yeah.
it. But I remembered that it was really the mom, and like his whole story about being all like weird and like kept away was like it's a very like feels like a Norman Bates deal or whatever.
Sure.
Where the mom's really doing the things,
Pulling all
Hyperglycemia is hereditary.
Yeah, oyster crackers. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Yeah, little like sometimes you have to keep a secret even if it hurts someone. And she goes, right. Oh shit, whatever. That whole thing where I'm like, yeah. Good
Yeah.
times because they're bonding a little on the side. Olive
Exactly.
and Chuck and all.
It's
all
all
that
coming
business.
along. I like how when she comes up the stairs and just throws that mug and just like knocks him on his ass.
The horse mug. I love your mugs. Yeah.
Because on my first viewing, I think I might have thought that it was the it was a horseshoe that hit him in the face, but it's a mug that doesn't even break because he picks it
No,
up
it's
a second
crazy,
later.
right? Because it's such a hefty horse head of like a mug.
Yeah.
But she finds the horseshoe right outside,
Uh-huh.
and then goes, oh, and like whatever. That's probably
Exactly.
why you thought that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what the context of this is, but yes, he was like, I think Emerson says to Olive, an idea might misunderstand what you say and hit you with a shovel. What is that? When they're going at the grave and all that stuff?
Yeah.
The whole thing where she's just dangling from it, and she goes like, "Oh, you want to do it? Okay." And he's like, "Ugh," and all that stuff. And his face when he's like hoisting it or whatever, and she's trying to like yell directions, and he's like, "Shut up, bitch." All
When
that
he
stuff.
hits the mother in the face with the shovel, it's like, I love you, shovel.
I love you, shovel. Yeah. And then Ned just fucking dropping Olive. And she's kissing him, right? And,
Yeah.
and she thinks it's all come together. It's like, Chuck, and then it's not quite a slapstick comedy drop, but he totally just like
Oh, yeah.
sets her down and then scampers
There's
off.
something
Yeah.
great, though, about hitting a masked villain in the face with a shovel, but not realizing it's like a frail old woman.
Okay.
Because he fully rails her right off the horse.
That's like
She should be dead.
that's like a Leslie Nielsen movie where someone hits an old lady and they go like spinning,
Yeah.
and then just like, "Ooh, you're shattered to death. You can't possibly."
And then she's in jail,
Make it
and it's
through
like
that.
all personalized and cozy looking.
Yeah. It's a jail cell, not unlike the one from the previous episode where the guy
Yeah.
had, right, the world is made of candy.
Indeed. But yeah, that's pretty much this episode 5 of Pushing Daisies.
Nails it out, yeah.
Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.